Hey everyone, and welcome to another Game Explained discussion. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined today by Grant Smith of TFS Gaming to discuss the latest Pokémon Sun and Moon trailer and give our thoughts on the new starter evolutions and new modes. So let's get started. Alright Grant, so we got a brand new trailer, and it finally showed what I kind of was assuming for a while now, which is the next evolution for the starters. But we got a lot more in here that I really wasn't expecting as well, like the new Festival Plaza and Poké Pelego modes. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, what did you think of this trailer overall?
I really liked it, actually. I thought it presented everything in a fun and concise, but still enough information that you were learning, but also just a small enough amount of information where it left you really wanting more and kind of left you dangling on some stuff, and just everything about it. I really liked its presentation. I was checking out the YouTube video for the trailer, and there were quite a few comments being all upset about the Ash-Greninja stuff, and I don't understand that. But I liked everything that I saw. I'm super excited for this whole shebang.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement because again, this is the way they've been handling these trailers is always in a way that leaves you wanting more. They show you this stuff and you're like, well, I want to know a little bit more about that. What about this? I have questions. They want you to keep you coming back, and I love them for that. As far as the Ash-Greninja thing, let's just dive into that real quick, I guess.
Sure.
So we have a demo coming out, which was rumored thanks to the Korean rating board thing, and we find out that this is the way you're going to be able to get Ash-Greninja in your game. And that makes a lot of sense to me because Ash-Greninja obviously isn't a Mega Evolution, it's not anything to do with Z-moves, it had to be something different. So to make it a ability that a Greninja can get and to have it offered in this way is just really intelligent on Game Freak's part.
Yeah, that works really well. I find it. I want to know more about it. Just like we were talking about, because the ability Battle Bond on the website, it says how it has to make a Pokemon faint to transform. I'm assuming it just gets a huge speed buff, and it specifically calls out its water shuriken. So I'm assuming, like the show did, it will have some sort of effect on that move. We see it used in the trailer. It does not look particularly different, but I'm just assuming it hits harder. It might even guarantee getting the 5 hits or something, since it's a Fury Attack-esque move. Mm-hmm. It definitely seems super interesting. Again, just enough to make me I feel like I know stuff, but I want to know so much more.
Yeah, no, it's great to see it represented, because a lot of people were curious about it, because there's very rarely any time where something in the anime is not directly reflected back on the game, but it does seem like this is a anime exclusive thing that just integrated into the game because, well, it got really popular and Ash needed a Mega Evolution without it being a Mega Evolution. So
yeah,
it
being called Ash-Greninja is very interesting, what with Ash not really existing in the games per se. But I don't know, maybe you can make the argument it's got the black streaks on it. It's like Ash. No, it's got ash on its face. It is, it's got this dark streak on it.
Yeah. And if you want to look into the lore of it as far as how it gets the name and all that, that's one of those things that this is so non-canon it hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Because, this is just, hey, there's this trainer named Ash that had this thing, and we're going to give it to you for some reason because, well, it actually does make sense because Ash lets go of every good Pokemon he ever gets.
Here, this is Ash-Greninja that learned how to transform because of how much it loved Ash. And now it just does it for you, because that's its ability.
Yeah, it just sort of got that built in, which I can see it happening, maybe, because the bond is so strong that no matter how far away they are, they're together. Now Ash will just be randomly feeling pain.
Yeah.
I guess Ash-Greninja's fighting.
He must be up to something. Oh, that Greninja.
But, I have an assumption, though, that Ash-Greninja will actually be the only Pokemon you can use in the demo. I don't think they'll give you any Pokeballs. I don't think they'll do anything beyond, anything major beyond that, because that way they can still keep things a secret,
I could see that. I know that Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, they had the demo that came out that got you Mega Glalie. I don't remember if you had a party in that. I'm fairly sure you did, because I feel like you had more than Glalie.
Yeah, I can't remember. You might have been able to catch Pokemon, but...
Yeah, I don't know if you could catch Pokemon. I think they just might have had you with a preset 6, maybe.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I can see them doing that, but yeah, I do kind of agree that you probably won't be catching stuff. I have a feeling that Ash-Greninja will be the only thing that comes from this demo as far as, like, Pokemon. Like, you might get items and stuff, sort of like how you did on the Ruby Sapphire one, where the more you did in it, the more it unlocked to send forward.
Yeah.
But I feel like they won't encourage you to catch and build a party in this demo, because that's not exactly what it's about.
Yeah, this is more showing off everything else. It made sense in like to build up a party or anything like that in the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire demo, because they're all Pokemon we've seen before. It's nothing new. With having all these new Pokemon and everything else, I don't think they're gonna sort of reveal those. So I do think they're probably going to limit how much you're actually going to be able to do within the demo. It's probably going to be a sort of self-contained story all about Ash-Greninja and then building up that bond or whatever. I'm not sure.
I just hope they let us mess with the trainer customizer stuff. Like, I want to make my personal trainer in this demo and have it ready to go, so when I start Sun and Moon, I can just be like, all right, I know I want this hair, I want this face, I want this hat, go.
I'm not sure if they'll let you do that. That would be pretty wild if they can, but I'm not sure if that'll happen.
Yeah, I honestly doubt it, but a man can dream!
Oh, man, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the demo. The only fear I have when it comes to the demo is it getting data mined to hell and everything gets revealed. That is the only thing that's making me nervous about this. I pray that Game Freak learned their lesson and did not let this happen, will not let this happen, but...
That would be an enormous bummer.
Yeah, it would. It's unfortunate. Yeah, it's one of those things like, I have to report on it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to know this stuff, but I have to.
Don't tell me these things.
Yes, it's kind of my job, but, well, but... That is a demo. I'm looking forward to trying it out on the 18th, so that'll be a lot of fun. But we also...
It's not very long away.
No, it's pretty much... It's a month out from the game's release, which is...
And it's 2 weeks from now.
Love it. October's great. But yes, we got our starter evolutions as well, which I've been waiting on for a while. It's like, okay, is it going to be now they're going to show these starters? Is it now? Because the thing is, we've seen indications of what their final evolutions might be thanks to that Chinese leak and that, well, I don't know if it was even the Chinese leak, but that piece of concept art that leaked out showing their different final forms. And after looking at these evolved forms, that's looking more and more likely that like those are real. Not that we...
Yeah, I was gonna say this falls in line very much with those. Like all 3 of the starters. Like if just one of them kind of looked like it, I would maybe dismiss it. But the fact that all 3, I feel like, are going in that direction makes me feel very, very confident that leaked art might be accurate. Which I am not super against. I kind of liked all 3 of those. So if that's real, they are all 3 final forms that I can live with.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think I asked you this in the last discussion we did. Which starter are you leaning towards?
Oh, I always kick things off with fire. That is just the way I have done it since the beginning of Pokemon, and like it's one of those, like, it's become just a tradition to me. Like, even though I think at first glance I was like, Rowlet's adorable, I love that little guy. Like, Litten, I was like, Litten's the fire one, so that's who I'm starting with. Like, that's just how it's gonna go. And seeing where he's going, like, I still dig it. Like, I know he gets, according to this leak, he gets buff and stands on 2 legs, but according to that leak, he is also Fire Dark, and he is based on a mean wrestler, and I'm totally all about that.
Oh, you got a heel.
Yeah, exactly. I'm totally cool with having a heel wrestler cat. Like, if that's the way it goes.
Okay, that would be pretty awesome.
All alleged.
Yeah. Let's hope so, because firefighting is getting old. Or has been old.
Yeah. I would not be thrilled for firefighting. I could live with it, but would not exactly be super pumped.
Yeah, that's why I was so happy with Fennekin's final evolution and getting Fire Psychic. I was like, oh, that's so interesting. Those are 2 of my favorite types rolled into one.
Yeah, and Fire and Dark are 2 of my favorite types.
Yeah, there we go.
So if we get that, like, I mean, we've already got Houndoom and stuff, but, like, you can always have more.
Oh, yeah, totally. Now, I went with Poplio as my starter, and I'm still feeling pretty confident about that, but let's go ahead and just go through each of these one at a time and start off with Dartrix. And
Dartrix. Love that hair.
I love it. I love that hair. It's just like that. It's sort of like that cool guy pose or whatever. It's just like you don't normally see grass Pokemons being cool too often. There's a few here and there, but Dartrix with the hair is like kind of has that classic foppish look, and I love how it gets upset when you touch the hair. It's like no, man.
That's so perfect. He's still got that leaf kind of bow tie, only it's a little droopy now, but still rocking it.
Yeah, it is great, and it really does. Like it talks about precision and all that stuff. It really is building up to becoming more like that Archer that we saw.
Yeah.
And I can dig it. I really think we're looking at something great here with Dartrix.
The thing that I really like from the trailer is how they use the Pokemon Refresh, sort of like they did with the Pokemon of Me, to give them just an extra touch of personality. So yeah, when you touch its hair, it freaks out, and just the different faces it makes made me immediately feel like each Pokemon is a character. They all have distinct personality and traits, and I love, and I feel like they were all really on display for the starter evolutions on the trailer. Absolutely,
and it even showed how the Pokemon website talks about how it hates having its feathers ruffled or getting dirt or anything like that. So it'll actually retire from battle on the spot because it can't take being dirty like that.
It just seems so above it all.
Yeah, exactly. It's just no, I gotta look perfect. I think Dartrix is gonna be a pretty fun Pokemon. It's nice to see that evolution. It's actually nice to see all three starters have such strong designs.
Yes, throughout. Definitely. I feel like, just to jump ahead here, Torracat has a little bit of maybe the most generic looking design of the three evolutions that we saw today, because it is just kind of it's kind of bigger Fire Cat. But even so, it looks has that very distinct Pokemon look. Looks like it's got attitude, which is totally cool by my book. So yeah, all the new designs I am absolutely down with.
I love Torracat's bell. The bell around its neck.
Flame sack thing on its neck.
That's really cool. It's just one of those things. Just okay, that makes sense, or it just works well. And I don't know. It's just one of those little design touches that you look at. It's yeah, I can get behind this.
Of course,
it works.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel that's kind of the secret to Pokemon's genius. Is it designs its Pokemon to have things that you're well, yeah, of course it would have this, but you would not have thought about it. And a cat having a bell around its neck. Duh. Why wouldn't it?
Makes sense.
Oh, that bell is where it produces its fire? Perfect.
Yes, I can't touch the fire. Makes sense. You're burning your hand on it.
It gets upset when you touch its bell because it burns your hand. I see.
Yeah, works out. And I love just that little touch in the trailer where it's pawing it's pawing at the ground like a cat.
Yeah.
It's such a small touch, but it adds so much personality.
Yeah, it immediately makes you feel like you know this thing. You get into its mind a little bit.
It's so good. And then we have Brionne, and I still love this thing. It is
Brionne's official art. Its face looks a little goofy to me. Just looks like it's kind of freaking out. I don't get a happy face from the official website art right there. It looks almost nervous. But at the same time, if it's a big performer, that could also make sense if that's the case. But I don't feel like that's what they're going for.
Probably not.
But yeah, Brionne looks great. I also love that name. Brionne is such a cool sounding name and works with water puns with brine and stuff. Yeah, I love it. I it's one of those things where this information has all come at me so fast, so recently, and I'm still just kind of in the afterglow of no, I love all this. It's great.
Processing. It's I have nothing bad to say about this. There's no bad impressions. Actually, there still could be bad impressions, but there's still there's nothing here that on the surface makes me think, oh God, what are they doing? Brionne being a performer and then going in more into a pop star. Oh my gosh, I just noticed this. The ears are like pigtails.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's basically one of the child pop stars from Japan, where they got the ruffled dress, the pigtails.
getting my Miku Pokemon.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like this whole trailer is like chock full of stuff, and none of it to me is like shooting up any sort of red flags. I am not like going into this and be like, oh boy, like these evolutions are going down a bad path. Like I like everything they've shown, and that's, as the cynical person I have grown up to be, that is becoming increasingly rare. So I'm glad Pokemon still got it.
Yeah, it's nice to be happy.
Yeah, it sure is nice to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks. This is not disappointing me. But yeah, along with the starters, we got 2 new, I guess, modes. The first one being Festival Plaza, which seems to be kind of a player community almost, where there's these different shops all around this castle, almost like a Disneyland setup, and you can take requests from other player trainers. Now, I'm assuming that the player themselves don't come up with the actual request that they do. They just sort of automatically generate it, and it just, hey, there's these other players around here to sort of build up the whole illusion, I suppose.
Yeah, but can you imagine if players could create their own challenges? I could see immediately communities coming together and be like, all right, these challenges seem to give you friend coins, which you can then use to do different things in the plaza that appear to raise your Pokemon's stats. I don't know if they've confirmed if it's EVs or IVs, but with the wording, I got the impression of IVs. But I can just see competitive communities coming together and be like, all right, here's this challenge. It's real simple, takes 3 seconds and gets you 1,000 friend coins. Like, just grind this and you can get everything to whatever stat you want.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And the thing what they can get, there's one scene where it's not related to raising stats at all. It's getting items, and you can buy PP ups, a PP up for 200 festival coins. And that's interesting, but there's also like this curious thing I have where they have these other things called sets, where they have a Johto set and a Kalos set and a Hoenn set, and then just a regular Honey set. And I'm like, is it just like a random set of items from that? I don't know. There's a lot of mystery here, and taking a closer looking at a lot of this stuff, there is some. I'm very curious what they're going to do with some of these other stands, and there seems to be a lot more than they show, because when you're taking that one request with the guys asking where you want to eat, there's like 6 or 7 different places you can suggest, and there's even more beyond that thanks to the arrows at the bottom. So this place is either bigger than you think or can expand in some way.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see the sets being decorations, like if you can make your own stand or space or something, and like the Johto set or whatever would have Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Totodile, like type stuff. Like I could see them going that direction. I also, just the idea of it expanding and growing with like just being this huge thing or something that they can add to over time, being like, hey, we've opened up a new place in the plaza, so go ahead, check it out, and if you pop in here within the first week of it opening or something, get like a free PP Max or something. Just like different ways for them to add stuff and make it feel like this exciting addition to the game. Stuff like this is typically, like, I feel like this is kind of along the lines of like I feel like there was a Wi-Fi minigame plaza in maybe Black and White 2 or something.
I think so.
But like, I'm hoping it is better than that, where it's something that I actually end up using and maybe remember 2 games down the line.
Yeah, at the very least, it's nice to have all these different ways of getting your stats up. Like, they are making it so easy to get your stats where you want to for each Pokemon.
It'll be tough to be like, it's, to talk about how annoying it is to raise Pokemon and do competitive Pokemon prep with all of the stuff they are handing out in this new game.
Yeah, they are making it easy to really get into all that stuff, and I love that, because it always has seemed like such a high barrier of entry to get into that sort of competitive way. And I'm not sure, I'm curious whether the competitive players like, oh, thank God, this will make it so much easier, or, oh no, this is going to make all the plebs come out and want to do this.
Even so, like, I've seen a little bit of resentment in some people being like, I spent all of this time doing this stuff, and now this is just becoming easy mode for other people. But at the same time, I can absolutely get it with how much the, like, just, Game Freak and the Pokemon Company have been pushing competitive Pokemon just whether it be streaming these huge tournaments, setting up these giant events. So making that stuff easier to get into only makes sense to me.
Yeah, it really just makes the process that much easier and opens up possibilities where people can come out of nowhere. And it also makes it easy for kids because they do have junior divisions and all that stuff where, kids can compete with other kids and go to nationals. So to make it easier on them makes so much sense to me.
And now we got that Pokemon Pelego, where, the Pokemon train themselves.
Yes.
What is this new world we live in?
Yeah, we saw Poké Pelego, which looks to have 5 different islands. One that looks like it's focusing on collecting the beans, which you use in Pokemon Refresh to feed your Pokemon and make them happy. One that is all about exploring this cave and getting items, including a bunch of different stones, as we see in the trailer. And then the final one, it's a way to train your Pokemon, almost like having a daycare where they just train them, like you can train the Pokemon en masse, and you can feed them drinks to focus on different things. Like there's a drink that focuses on getting the special defense stat up, or another drink where you're going to earn a bunch of experience during this training session. It's like, really? I could even do this whole min-maxing stuff with my boxed Pokemon?
I love this because I am the kind of person who, when I'm going through the Pokemon campaign, I do not swap my party around a whole lot. Like, it is kind of like I start building a team and I go like, I like these guys, and if I catch something new that I really like the look of or something, or has piques my interest, I will maybe swap something out. But for the most part, I have boxes full of things that I have literally never used in battle at all. Mm-hmm. And this makes me feel like this is a way to interact with them, build, that thing Pokemon does where you feel like you are building a relationship or a rapport with a creature that is literally ones and zeros. I just like this idea because it makes it feel like the Pokemon that you have hanging out in your box, theoretically doing nothing. It makes them feel like they are also contributing to your journey, even if you never pull them out of the box at all.
Yeah, because even if at just like the most basic sense, like it's kind of sad. It's like, yes, I caught this legendary Pokemon into the box to do absolutely nothing for the for just doing nothing, and to have a way to interact with these Pokemon is a great idea. And my whole idea is the only reason I'll pull them out of the box is to train them up to get the evolution, and then once I get the Pokedex entries filled out, back in the box.
Yeah. You go ahead and sit in here again.
Yeah, it's one of those things where there's a lot of Pokemon I've never used over the years just because I never felt the need, because I just wanted I have my favorites, And to have this way of maybe building up new favorites, or like, oh, this Pokemon's kind of cool, or I always wanted to try this one, but he's such a low level compared to the rest of my team, I can build him up this way and handle it. And I don't think this is going to be a replacement for the daycare, at least not as far as one thing, because we got a whole bunch of Pokemon in here. There's no way we're getting eggs from these things, unless...
I see this being a lot more involved, or maybe even having like a time thing. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to set it up and be like, alright, they will start training between like these and these hours, and they will probably grow X levels, or this stat will jump up this much, and it will be a much more involved process instead of the daycare where it's just with steps they're getting stronger.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
That's what I'm guessing.
And like I said, I still think the daycare will be there unless there's some sort of there's some sort of island focused entirely on breeding. Which, boy,
this is Pokemon Love Island. Don't worry about it. Eggs sometime pop up.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know where they come from. We don't ask.
But yeah, this stuff like this is perfect because, like, since I start with I'm starting with Litten, and I really like the Pokemon Salandit, and I was kind of bummed because I'm like, it's another fire type. I'm probably not going to use 2 slots on my team for fire types. So this gives me a chance to essentially train Salandit while still having, good team coverage and composition. And I'm perfectly, I love these ideas.
Yeah, it all just sort of works out and just makes the experience seem much more inviting and fun.
Yes, absolutely. Fun is definitely like the vibe I'm getting from all of this. Like, none of this feels like it's like, and this is going to be work, and this is going to be this annoying thing you have to deal with. Like, everything about it so far seems like it's just like, no, this looks goofy and fun, and also, if it's something that you are not super into, seems very easy to avoid or ignore.
Yeah, exactly. Like this, they feel very separate from everything else. It's just sort of like, this is an idea that you could have, or do this sort of thing, and there you go. But yeah, that pretty much covers all the major points from the latest Pokemon Sun and Moon trailer. We got more coming October 14th, as well as the demo, all of which we'll definitely cover. But overall, I think this has been an excellent trailer.
Oh, yes, definitely. Also, I don't know if this is new information for today, but I hadn't really been hearing about it. They also did a big breakdown of Pokemon Global Link stuff on the website and how it's going to tie into Sun and Moon. And there is actually a lot of interesting information there. Trainers can make QR codes of their team, and you can download that QR code and either battle against or battle with and like use that team and like test it out and play with it.
Oh wow.
And like that sounds like a lot of interesting stuff, and they even basically go, which like on the website, and I can just see them doing this in some sort of official capacity, but they're like, you can even use this to, you know, play with a video game champions like team or something. So I can totally see them just being like, hey, the champion for this circuit, their QR code goes up immediately after the tournament, and you can play with this team and mess with it and see how it works.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool.
It just looks like there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the Global Link.
They got your time system, new rules for the championship battles. They're really going all out with the Global Link this time around. It's crazy.
Yeah, like that. So, you know, not quite as high profile and like, you know, not as glamorous as the stuff shown off in the trailer, but definitely worth peeking into if you are way into Pokemon, as I feel we have revealed ourselves to be.
Maybe just a little. Maybe. I don't know. But, alright, well, I think that covers it for our Sun and Moon discussion, so thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, be sure to like us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. And Grant, where can they find you at?
Oh, I found my way all over the internet. You can find me specifically, Twitter at MasterWuggles, it's spelled how it sounds. I am also frequently on stuff for Team 4-Star, and both their TFS gaming, and occasionally on their main channel for stuff. You can see that team4star.com. We just updated our website, so come check it out. And also TFS Gaming, the YouTube channel, that's where you'll primarily find me.
Yeah, and definitely check out their ongoing Nuzlocke of Soul Silver, because that's been a lot of fun, and I'm pretty sure actually many of you are already watching it. So yeah,
getting dangerously close to the end. Only a couple more Kanto gyms to go, and who knows what else lies in the distance and Golden Heart, Gold, Soul, Silver.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how you see when you guys actually get to the end, because them raising the level of the levels of the Pokemon of Red, it makes things interesting to say the least.
Oh boy, as the guy who does all of the off-screen grinding for that playthrough, I might not be super looking forward to that.
Yeah, good luck finding a grinding spot for that.
Re-challenge that Elite Four over and over.
That's pretty much the best way to do it. Oh boy, well, and of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Pokemon and other things gaming as well. Until next time, bye.